The first in the rumor box keeps exploding. The contracts, tons of bombs are showing up at each end of the water bridge. Photo. Summer market 2025 is now entering the most intense period. Every great team has its own story, but we're all drawn into a race that can't be stopped. The first is Liverpool. They've never been act as quickly and as decisively as you do now. In less than 2 months, the Cops spent over £200 million, turned the transfer window into a full-blown campaign. From Florian Viet to from Mamadashu, strategic supplement names like Watnan or Pepsi. They all come with the same goal, is to build the foundation for the underslot system. But that's just the beginning, because Liverpool are aiming for much bigger cards. Isaac and Rodrigo, 2 deals that could reshape the whole industry. The name Kun Aguero could be brought to the table. To keep the backline quiet, they have to do what Manchester United have lost 7 times. It's the early arrival of a new central defender. Liverpool have suddenly become the focus of this summer's transfer, spending more than £200 million. In less than 2 months, what makes the first impression is the speed and the end. Definitely in the completed deals. From Florian Viet, the most expensive contract in club history, for £100 million to Frimpong and Kick, 2 wing corridor contracts worth a total of £85 million. Then goalkeeper Jorginho Mamadashvili from Valencia, for 23 cents, £5 million. Liverpool spend money in the most important places. Slot structures needed to try and upgrade the system. Even 2 subcontracts are Pepsi Adnet, the Pushcart Academy. Freddie Wardman, the Preston, also be latched quickly to ensure squad depth, but there was no sign that they were satisfied. With the current people, Liverpool's race really exploded when they targeted Alexander Isak, a true center of the high level, and fits perfectly with the way underslot works. Sky Sport and the Liverpool Athletic ready to break the 6th century of his own transfer for the 2nd time this summer to bring Isak back for about £120 to £130 million, and Picasso is determined to keep the Y-valuer sacked to £150 million. Liverpool did not give up. They've even turned to Hugo Ekitike as a strategic alternative to pressure. If Newcastle worried about losing Ekitike to Liverpool, they'll be forced to make concessions on the Isak deal. David Allenstein says Liverpool are just waiting to see what Isak wants after a Grepperly vacation. Let's call this a dream goal for the Merseyside team. Parallel to that, a dramatic new development is unfolding. Liverpool are considering Ibrahim Konate in exchange for Rodrigo from Real Madrid. According to sources from Defensa Central, Liverpool have submitted proposals. Konate plus 30 to $35 million. Rodrigo, he played only 27 minutes in the World Cup club knockout round. It's no longer part of Xabi Alonso's plans. Everything becomes more rational. Luis Diaz is likely to leave in the coming weeks. In that context, Rodrigo would be a reasonable replacement on the left wing. The problem is that Real Madrid are not easy to release, and Rodrigo, Arsenal should leave Ben White. It's because the professional world warned Liverpool. You need to be careful if you don't want to lose both the Diaz and the Konate. There's no replacement in time. But to close those deals, especially Rodrigo or Isak, Liverpool must resolve a defense is not weakened. That's why they are in talks with Crystal Palace to recruit Maguire. He only has a 1-year contract in valuation of about £4,510 million. He won the FA Cup with Palace, is a suitable central defender. He is said to want to join Liverpool. The Mirror says Liverpool are leading the race, but the dip cow is also stalking. Speed of action will be key. Financially, Liverpool still have strong spending power, with revenue up to £700 million. Season 2002-04-2005 and a gap of £186 million before the PSA limit. They've got enough ammunition to pin 1 or 2 more bombs, as long as you sell Diaz or Lunet at the right price. Back to middle, they're the team with the most efficient market processing speed. Among the big guys, the big 6, it is not difficult to understand the series. Cole and the commentators started to change their perspective. Zenpish writes on The Athletic, Liverpool are having a summer of big decisions, and they're making the right choice. Gary Lineker on Match of the Days, if any team wants to win the Premier League next season, that's Liverpool. In London, Arsenal chose to go slow, but this summer they're no longer patient. After dropping a chance at the end of last season, Gunnar enters the market with the mindset of a hunter. But the point is worth it. It's more about how they focus on the midline and public places. Michael determined to upgrade so as not to be left behind in the race. Premier League, there are still targets like George's Royigo or Easy. Each one has a different nuance, but it's all part of a plan to fill the gaps. Lack of an active and decisive Arsenal director, that's the new image that the market is starting to take for granted. It is no longer an image of a reticent Arsenal choosing a sustainable solution. This summer's Gunners are splashing money relentlessly to turn this team into a competitive machine. Actually, with Ba, the contract is done. There are many more names. It's on its way. Total spending may exceed 200 million euros. Put Arsenal in the group of the most aggressive clubs in Europe. At the present time, Martin, Juve Mandy has finally landed. Emirates with prices up to 70 million euros. Then there's General Cristiano Ronaldo, to be brought back, pieces that balance combat power and experience. Kepa Arrizabalaga is a surprise deal, but it's a strategic vision, a seasoned goalkeeper. The battle is a good way to compete, with David De Gea. There are two more names that Arsenal have signed, Noni Madwick of Chelsea and Christian Mos. Valencia, both are completing the final steps. Before the San Mames home team debut, next to the 5 names above, Arsenal are targeting 3 other cases and promise to detonate a blow, including Victor Gibb, Trody Gogos and Never watched and negotiated by Arsenal through the months, but so far the deal hasn't been completed. Even so, journalist Fabrizio Romano argues that, Arsenal fans, don't worry and be patient, because this deal is in the final stages. Arsenal are also interested for Rodrigo Goetz of Real Madrid, but the Gunners' interest in this deal, it's cooled down a lot, due to the 90 million euros loss Blancos offered. In the case of Everton, Arsenal are stopping at the level of interest without making a formal offer. Getting to Crystal Palace, so the success of this deal is quite low. Gunner legend Thierry Henry, he was excited about the dream transfer. I haven't seen Arsenal this strong since Invisible. Ruby Mandy is a contract that I really like. He'll add strength to Arsenal's midfield. Meanwhile, Jeremy Carragher, if Arsenal manage to capture George, I believe they will compete fairly. Liverpool and Man City in the Premier League next season. Look at General. Arsenal have a very successful summer transfer window. They closed 3 deals, and that's Jumbima, Nordgat and Azit. 2 players coming out in the next 24 hours, Madwick and Moss. Jill Carrot confirmed to join Arsenal before the Tour of Asia begins. What about Rodrigo and the probability of success is not too high. Man City may not be as noisy as last summer, but don't let the silence fool you. For completed signings, including Redders aren't Chicky and Bettini, are the pieces that are right where they're needed. With Pep Guardiola, finishing the squad early is the way to go into the season. With the machine ready to go, they don't have to chase anyone. No need for a quick auction. Man City make transfers the way they hold the ball, with rhythm, full, and not in a hurry. However, there are still many fluctuations in the afternoon. Jalis is almost certainly gone. Stone is suspected of being able to. The future of Kovacic is unknown. Man City may have completed the purchase, but the selling part, and how they keep the balance, it will be a story worth watching. Manchester City has been active in the summer transfer market 2025 with 4 notable new signings. The first is Tiziani Rejdrins. Dutch midfielder arrives at Man City from AC Milan. At a price of 55 million euros, I promise I will be a worthy replacement. Kevin De Bruyne from next season. Next, Man City add left-back Ryan Nasri from Wolfsburg for 36.8 million euros. The appearance of the British player, Jerry. I want to help Man City power up in the left-wing hallway, as well as helping Pep Guardiola use Josko Vidal as a left-sided center-back. More than young French talent, Ryan Trezeguet has also joined the Citizen for a fee of 36.5 million euros. And finally, Marcus Bett increased depth for the position of the Temple guard after Ederson Murray and Steven Inns. Since the 4 above, Man City don't have too many transfer rumors. In the last few weeks, the most significant case is Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan. Manchester City reportedly interested in right-back Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan to replace Carlos Walker, who has just joined Burnley. However, close sources deny this information. City also pursued Flamengo's Wesley, but there's been no concrete progress. In the afternoon, there are a lot of players who are in a position to leave, typical as Jack Grealish, Ikegu, Mateo, John Stone, Tico Riley, Oscar Bob, and Claudio Ek just returned to Man City and got a new contract, 1-year contract. But Gundogan is thought to be more likely to move to Gatas. Cavani was still used regularly last season. It is still on the list for sale, and Stone could leave with a permanent injury. Besides, be a young talent, Nico Riley, Oscar Bob, and Claudio H. also considered lending or selling, though Oscar Bob is expected to leave the team this summer. In addition to the 6 players listed above, Jack Grealish is almost certain to leave the team. After being excluded from the FIFA Club World Cup, Shakeup, Calvin Phillips, and Maximo Perez risk of being liquidated to create a transfer fund. The summer transfer window 2025. It's going to be very exciting because a lot of names are coming in, but not a few people have the ability to leave, and they have. You can say that Man City, he completed his transfer window very early. Tottenham have never been short of money, but they always lack a clear strategy. Summer 2025, start with excitement. Holy Theo is bought off. The young guards also joined in, but then things started to slow down. The Gypsy White deal is in trouble. Elliot writes it. Giza is full of unknown targets. But the midfield is thin. Team depth is questioned. The Champions League is ahead. Thomas Frank had the idea. Selling to buy policies makes everything stretch and skew if you can't close big deals at the end. Spurs could once again enter the new season with a team that seems new but not strong enough. If you don't have money, you can buy everything. Tottenham Spurs is a great example. Super Step 2, Summer 2025, with a budget of nearly £180 million. To spend this amount is limited by the burden of debt. Transfer of £279 million. Tottenham have revealed North London Football Club must implement the policy. Sell to buy coach. Thomas Frank is backed by Daniel Levy, ready to bring back key positions for the new super captain. Upgrade the squad. In fact, Arsenal did it very quickly. The most prominent is Mohamed Kudus. £55 million blockbuster from West Ham United. Ghanaian players, promises to be a formidable spearhead on the cock attack. However, the Morgan Gibbs-White deal was not so lucky. Legal issues that forced Torres to delay. So far there hasn't been any progress. On the other hand, buying a series of central defenders also makes experts put a big question mark. Both Kotatekai, Gefin Denzo, and Lukaku Modric. They're all potential players. At the same time, untested in prestigious arenas, the signatures above become even more difficult to understand. Spurs are determined to retain Christian Romero, and they're still there. Mickey van der Vaart. Even the Matiso case has faced criticism from former celebrities. Remy O'Hara on TalkSport. Jimmy O'Hara. I think they need Jimmy Vardy, not to kick the ball, but to prepare for Chelsea. I can assure you that Vardy is better than Matisse. Next season, Tottenham Hotspur will compete in the Champions League, but the force is about to enter a phase. Strong transfer. The new Tottenham Hotspur, they haven't reached the top level yet. This is going to be a real challenge for coach Thomas Frank. Sale campaign to buy Tottenham Hotspur is clearly outlined, but it's starting to be slower than the most critical stage. The North London club missed the chance to sign Brian Mbeumo and Ibarra. While Superintendent Morgan Gibbs-White is at a stalemate, the newspaper 442 also warned Torres, the signing of Morgan Gibbs-White. According to that, the players often can't keep up after the value is inflated to the sky. Jack Jordan or Jadon Sancho. It's the clearest evidence. Next to the public, drama Spur needs to focus for the midfield. Payam and Højbjerg is out of the North London club. Next to it, Zlatan has also received interest from Juve. The Spurs are still Pepe Spurs don't just play in the Premier League. For any team that wants to achieve big ambitions, team depth is a very important factor. Work format, Champions League change also makes the players plow much more. Without proper allocation of forces and personnel, Thomas Frank could have walked in aimless footsteps. Postecoglou. Chelsea don't just want to win the FIFA Club World Cup, they want to make it a stepping stone back to the top of Europe. Contracts like Georgie, Gundogan and Delap are a statement for the future. But they haven't stopped. The Lopez family is being pursued. Morgan Roger could be next. And Rodrigo, Stafford Bridge will be the last jewel. Attached to the crown, Chelsea have money, they have ambition, and they have mental momentum. They are also one of the few teams that are willing to strong hands in the context of tightened financial laws. With Enzo Maresca as an architect, the real goal of the new season is the Premier League and beyond. Summer at Stamford Bridge, it's happening. It's very exciting with the FIFA Championship effect. World Cup club with the excitement in the transfer market. Chelsea have a lot of money, that's not an argument. And the contracts, they've actually made other competitors nervous. In the context, the transfer market doesn't have many good strikers. They brought back a potential liamed up Manchester United and João Pedro. It's excellent, but few people notice. The other is Bino Gittens of Dortmund. But it didn't stop there. Journalist Ben Jacobson, famous writer of Keeping Sport, just made an announcement to make Chelsea's fans and its rivals. Everyone has to sit still. This is a long transfer campaign. Chelsea will not stop. Chelsea has not stopped. So what names would be possible for them to bring back? According to the press, The defending team won the FIFA Club World Cup. The Sal Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa is the top target for the remainder of the summer transfer window. 2025 Russia is only 22 years old this year. He can play well in the central midfield position. And the quarterback, similar to the case of the family, Pet is also the name given special attention by the Blue. To add to the rush, shuffle and offensive ability for the midfield, according to free agency, Hong An Hong football team, Thaman is the perfect addition to the squad. Chelsea want to take another step after winning the FIFA World Cup, Club World Cup. 2005 coach Enzo Mar, it is believed to have brought players above Barca. At the top of my wish list, believe that the energy and technical qualities of Famine could change Chelsea's midfield. Out, the name Rodrigo is still the target for BA to lead Chelsea, ready for the next blockbuster. Recently, Rodrigo has moved to comment on the photo of Javier Pedro to congratulate Chelsea players just won the FIFA Club World Cup. This is the base for fans. I believe that a good relationship between the two of you can help. Useful for progress of this deal. The other teams in the Big Six, maybe Chelsea, still not quite satisfied with the title. Same record of scoring many goals, most at FIFA Club World Cup. That's why they still need offensive players. Next to the quarterbacks who tend to attack, amount more than 120 million euros earned from FIFA World Cup Club help Chelsea add a little bit to make it happen. The upcoming goals. If there's a team that makes the fans, I have 7 hopes at the same time. That's Manchester United. They started with a promise, go to Lyon and sign a contract. But then the positive signals quickly disappeared. Mbappe deal deadlocked. The backup goalkeeper case is still missing. And even more worrying is the feeling of not having a plan. Manchester United are still buying and listening, neither definitive nor proactive. While the competitors are closing fast and one step ahead, they're stuck between financial problems and a lack of flexibility. In negotiations, if you don't change your approach immediately, Manchester United, it's totally possible to get into the season with an insufficient squad to race top, not to mention the title race with Manchester United. Watching the summer transfer window is like watching them play. On the field, it started out very promising, but then it got messy. A stalemate interspersed with despair. There was a time when fans, I feel the team is moving in the right direction, but the later we get to see the old problems has not been resolved. 7 failures of the past, like Jadon Anthony or Rashford, continue to be a burden. Not being able to sell any of them means the Red Devils have no financial initiative. They are not competitive in big deals. Until now, Manchester United have only one goal. The most famous is Matthew's from Wolf for £62 million. Cunha is not a super sub, but he's proven consistent after scoring 17 goals. Last season was a reasonable addition. If you look at the lack of a written plan, Manchester United table. The other name to be completed is young defender Diego Leon, the Paraguay, with an initial fee of £3 million. With additional terms, Leon is only 18 years old. It's considered a long-term investment, not a significant addition to the first team. Meanwhile, they're still having trouble getting Brian Nagu, the Brentford, a very well-coached winger, Ruben Amorim favorite, but Brentford kept raising the price from over 50 million. It's now £70 million. The deal seemed to be coming to a close. Ibamo wants to go to Old Trafford, but the governing club refused to lower its demands. Man United have not been able to meet that price. Keep messing around with Ubu makes the Red Devil extremely passive. There's not much time left, and the team still has other positions to fill. It's about putting all your energy into a goal that you can't accomplish. All the more confusing the situation. After missing out on Gio Carrasco, Manchester United are still considering other names. But it feels like they don't have a clear direction. Media speculation turns from Watkins Jackson, Moskin to Vlad. But so far, Man United are not serious about any goals yet. In the wood frame, the injury of Ona in the preparation period of the season also made Man United to think, although the situation is not too serious, they're still going to need a more reliable backup. Compared to names like Anthony Byron or Tom Heaton, Man United was contacted preliminary with some goals like Emi Martinez of Aston Villa or John Victor from but more likely, they also take more time to get a specific solution. With overall, Man United's summer transfer window is a 7-figure window. They've got 2 good contracts, but there's a whole list of targets can't reach, along with stagnation at the stage of player liquidation. What's going on is just raising doubts about the ability to plan of the new sports department under Sir Alex Ferguson. If we don't change our approach for the next few weeks, Man United, it's totally possible to get into the season new with a missing squad before missed after that. A very familiar feeling again. Back to Red Devil fans, there is a lot of hope, but not much. Newcastle is the missing name on the blockbuster map, but he's carrying on his shoulders a lot of expectations. They're trying to convince Frankfurt's Hugo follow the progress of Jorge Carvajal, and lined up Janeway's plan in case the main targets fall apart. Ambition is not lacking in budget problems. Competition from the big guys and emerging position make all their deals more complicated. Imagine, I'm in the middle of wanting to rise, and practically bound by financial constraints. While Liverpool accelerate, Arsenal closing fast, Chelsea keep DA City stable, and Man United struggling. Newcastle is tracking every step of the market. Maybe they won't recruit as much. If you choose the right person at the right time, this summer can still be a quiet turning point, but sustainable for long-term travel.